Hey guys, welcome. You're at the Thrifty Journal Shop. I'm Amber. If you are new to my channel, welcome. So happy that you found me, and thank you guys that keep coming back. I just thought I would turn the camera on and share some of the process of my journal making that I'm doing here. So after making all the Christmas journals, I was still inspired to make another journal. This one is going to be for myself, and it's going to be a trashy sort of style of journal that I like to make instead of just making a Christmas one, because I have a few Christmas ones from last year. I wanted one that I could start using in December and maybe use all the way through until spring. So I'm not going to put tons of papers in there, but I was in my favorite store, I guess, lately, which is the Dollar General, and I saw this beautiful box. It was the only one of this style because I was going to buy another one and then next year turn it into a journal. I did go back, they didn't have any. So I might have to go to the other Dollar General by me. I've done a few things, but I wanted to share some of the process with you guys and also show you how I'm going to put the papers in. I'm going to try something different. I'm not real crazy about the season's greeting part of this. So I've got an idea for that. I've cut down the box. It looks like this. So all I've done so far is basically cut the sides. There was 2 in one package. So I've cut it down, just cut off the sides. And then I trimmed a little bit here. So this is going to be the front cover. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the inside. I've already done the back cover. And all I did was I took some of this fabric that I got from Sweet Lynn over at A Bit of Birdsong. I bought one of her kits. So I'm using some of the fabrics from that and some of the elements. And all I did was I just wrapped it around. So this is the inside. And then I made like this fun pocket and I just glued some of my painty papers down and I just sewed around. So I love having pockets. So this is going to be the back cover. And then this is going to be the front cover. So it's going to be elongated, but I want to show you how I'm going to do the papers. I'm going to do them a bit different. And then I have my spine all ready to go. And all I've done for my spine is like how I've showed you guys before. This is a file folder I cut down and I just wrapped fabric around it. I did sew it. And so it's going to be a floppy sort of bendable spine. And then what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to probably stick it in the inside. I don't know, maybe we'll do that. And then we can add some fun trim. Okay, and then I've already done the back cover. So let's work on the inside cover. And then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to cover the season's greeting part. So this is just some like denim style fabric. I did one of these like fiber, I can't think of the term that I'm trying to think of right now. In fact, I might need to sew back down through here. I thought I sort of hacked this piece of fabric. So let's put this together. So that's what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine. I'm going to go around here and then we'll add the spine to the journal. And then I'll show you how I'm going to cover the season greeting part. Okay, so I sewed all around here. We've got the front cover in, then I've got this sort of wonky fabric pocket. All right, so we've got the front cover, the inside, and then we've got the inside of the back cover, and then the back of the journal. All right, so now what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to sew this on the outside here. I could still put some trim. So I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to attach it and then we'll cover this part. Oh, how fun is this? And I was definitely inspired by Lynn over at A Bit of Birdsong. She has this huge trashy journal that she's working in. And so when I saw this box, I thought, oh, well, I love the box, you know, the pretty deer. It looks wintry. I mean, it's just beautiful with the glitter here. And so, yeah, so then look how big. Let me zoom out. So we have all of that space. It's got a nice fabric spine here. Got strings everywhere. And then we've got some fun fabric pockets. And then this is the back. So what I thought for this, and I already put it together, is I took a bunch of the pieces from Lynn's kit, and then I added some of these just yarns and strings, and I just, sewed it all together. How pretty is that? Now, I don't have to cover all of the writing. I actually really like the lettering, and it's so pretty. I thought we could add that. I'm going to turn my glue gun on. So as the glue gun heats up, I'm going to show you guys some of the pages that I'm going to add. So I had this journal that I had made a while back, and I pulled it apart. I do this sometimes with journals that I make. I pull them apart, I reconstruct them, and now I'm trying to remember how it was. Okay, so it was like this. It was a trifold journal. I've already cut it apart because I wanted to reuse this somehow in this heart. And then I actually thought I would reuse this cover. It's very scrappy. It's an old quilt. I did a lot of patchwork, messy patchwork. And what happened was when I made it and it was this size, it just really wasn't big enough for me. I was finding that the pages, here's some of the pages, they just weren't big enough. I needed more space. I thought I would reuse some of these pages in this journal. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. And so instead of hinging my pages together using paper, which I've showed you guys before, like scrap paper or washi tape, I thought I would just take some pages and sew them together, and then I would have these elongated papers, and then I can just sew through here. I saw Stacy over at Emery Sky Studios. She put together her Christmas journal, I think, and she did this. Now, I've done this before, but I'm thinking, man, this would just be a great thing to do instead of hinging them all together. I know I've seen Gina over at the Rebookery, Stella J Studios do it. So I started just sewing together pages, and then this is going to go in the journal. I am going to cut this down so it will fit in here. I thought this is a great way to make some elongated pages. Now, if you are not a sewer, I'm sure you could do this. You could just glue it together, use a glue stick, and extend your pages that way. Or you could add washi tape to them. I mean, that would even be fun too. So I have a few that I've done. Here was another page I pulled apart from another journal. So I just sewed here. And then this is going to be where it goes in the journal. And then I sewed the stationery on. So I have all these elongated pages that are going to be a lot of fun. And I think I'm just going to put 2 signatures in here because, like I said, I don't want this to be so many papers where I get to the point where I'm not saying I get bored with journals, but sometimes when I put too many papers in, then I want to move on to something else and I want to make another journal. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these pages and I am going to extend them out. So now I've already put holes in these because they were already in a journal, but that's okay because I'm going to reuse this for myself. I can reconstruct it, reconfigure it. So that's one way you can deconstruct a journal and put it back together. Some of these pages have fabrics on them already, and some of these pages are really cool. This is an older journal. Another way to recycle. All right, I am going to take this over to my glue gun and put this down. All right, I glued that down. So I think that looks really cool. And then I went ahead and I just added some trim here to extend it out a little bit and just to, put something on the edge. This was some Christmas trim that I got, but I thought it was really cute because it's got, the deer and the trees. And so that's how the inside looks. We've got a pocket. We've got another pocket. And we have this really fun floppy journal cover. I love making stuff like this when I can just get out my stuff, make myself a journal, no pressure, just make it funky, trashy, eclectic, and colorful and wonky. So I'm going to put together some of the pages and then I will be back. All right, I am back here. It's actually the next day. So today is Thanksgiving Day. So happy Thanksgiving. I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this video, but I had some time today. And so what I did was I took most of the pages from this journal. So I reconstructed the pages by just extending them a bit. Some of them I pulled apart. So I elongated them. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's pretty scrappy. I also took the flap that I had with the heart and cut that apart and re-sewed around the heart. So I thought maybe somehow I'll add this to the journal. If I'm going to make a little dangle, I'm not quite sure. I just have these pages left. Now, some of these pages were really old. This was an old music book. It looks like I sewed around a lot of the pages because they were so thin. So I think I'm going to take this apart and probably use it as collage. And then I have this Raggedy Ann book that was very old. I did put some of the pages in here. It was very colored on and well loved. It's very frail, but I thought I'd still use some of the text and maybe cut out little Miss Raggedy Ann. Got the sweet little boy here with the sheep. And this picture is adorable. And so is this. So I kept some of the pages, but for the most part, I used all of the pages out of that journal. I have just a few left here that are very thin. So somehow I will reuse these in here. So I've got those. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I think I've got 8 or 9 pages per signature. So this isn't going to be a super big journal, but it is very long. Like I said, I don't want this to be really big because my plans are to start using this now, maybe through the winter, and then I'll start another one for spring. I still have my junk planner. I still have some of my Christmas journals, and I've got my little whimsical house journal that I'm still playing in. Oh, I've got quite a few journals, like we probably all do, right? So I am going to do this off camera because I've showed you guys this before. Sew them in and then I will be back. All right, so I've got 2 signatures here and that's what it looks like. So there is plenty of room to fill this up. And I think it turned out pretty cool. We've got that covering the season greetings. And we have the back here. I just sewed this blue trim on. Love this upholstery type fabric. And let's take a look inside. We've got the front pocket here. It's pretty scrappy. As you can see, I still have a lot of my strings hanging off. We've got all of this space in here with the extended papers. So that's just how I hinge them together. I didn't have to use any paper to hinge. I just folded them in half and then sewed here to extend the pages. So I've got all these flips, and then I've got, you know, wallpaper in here. I have vintage calendars. This is from Gina at the Rebookery. I got this a while ago. Some of these fabrics I had on from before. Zoom out a little bit. So as you can see, this is a very elongated journal. It's very scrappy. It's fun to finish a long journal making session. Like I've just completed all those Christmas journals. To have something just sort of free like this, I don't really have to concentrate on things being precise, and I can just leave my strings, and I can just have it be trashy and wonky. So as you can see, there's going to be lots of places to play in here, and glue and paint. So I'm going to start playing in this weekend. I'll probably take you along for some of that. I need to get back on here with my junk planner. I've done a few things in that. I did add some of my painty papers, but I thought I might add some paint as I go with this one. And then we've got that nice back pocket. And so, yeah, it ended up being pretty long here. I just think it's a pretty journal. Love the deer and like the gold sparkles there. So guys, that's how you can take apart a journal, reuse the papers, make a journal from a box, Christmas box, or if you have this season, if you have leftover gift boxes, shirt boxes, and you want to recycle them, this is just a great way to make your own journal. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you find some sunshine. I hope you find some time to be creative and play and have fun. And I will see you again real soon. Okay, thanks for watching.